All right, let's go to our next game. This game was part of our fan poll here. The Gator Bowl was one of them, and this is the other one. It is the Tony the Tiger. It's the Sun Bowl.
They're great.
There you go, Fresh. I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you on that one. We got Oregon State. What a year for the Beavers. I love Oregon State. It's sad that this is kind of how it goes out and ends. Oregon State 8-4 on the season out of the Pac-12. They're going against Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. They are 9-3 on the season. Spread right now is 6.5 points for Notre Dame. Over under is set at only 42 points in this football game. Taking a look at those who are opting out in this football game.
It's a long list.
There's a long, long list here. Audric Esime is out for Notre Dame. Sam Hartman, 3 wide receivers for Notre Dame. Joe Alt, their offensive tackle. There's offensive lineman. There's Holden Stays. He's in the transfer portal. There's a lot of guys who are out for this one. Xavier Watts is playing in this game. He was a potential opt-out. He is playing in this game. That's a big one for them. For Oregon State, their head coach is gone. He is off to Michigan State. DJU is gone. The backup quarterback is Aiden Childs is gone. Damian Martinez is questionable in this game. Their wide receiver, Anthony Gould, is opting out as well. I mean, I'm taking a look here, Fresh. I'm just trying not to go just like read off everything here. A bunch of their linemen are injured. You're looking at Jack Velling. You take a look at him. He is opting out of this football game. Their leading tight end. Their defense. There's guys in the portal. I mean, this really is like the opt-out portal game. I don't know how we're gonna like really talk about this game because all of the guys that we would say, I mean, Fenwick's playing for Oregon State.
Well, I think when you start at it, this game was one of the many that was hit with the chaos of the ripple effects of Florida State not getting in the playoff. So if you aren't familiar with what happened, obviously Florida State did not make the college ball playoff. All the ACC and their bowl alignments, because the conferences align the schools based on finishing and where they want the best matchup with the TV groups, et cetera, et cetera. They had already pre-planned all their options, assuming Florida State made the playoff. And when they didn't, that obviously drops them down in a shuffle. And they figured Louisville would have gotten the other New Year's Six Bowl. So now they're going to put people around. They had to actually have a pause and reevaluate where the teams were going to go. And because Notre Dame fits in a potential ACC slot in a lot of different cases, they could have gone to other bowls. They could have filled in an ACC slot. They had to throw them in the mix. And there was a major pause on where this was going to go until it was announced that Notre Dame's going to the Sun Bowl. And I think within, an hour and a half, the entire game was sold out, maybe 2 hours. It was almost lightning fast. Immediate ticket sales. The place is going to be packed down there in El Paso. But nobody's actually going to be playing. Like, we're going to have – this is going to be a major depth test right here. Who is actually putting a uniform for Oregon State? Who's putting on a Notre Dame uniform? I think it'd be great for the coaching staffs to really see and evaluate who they have going forward, especially for Coach Freeman. His first ever game was versus Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl. They had a big lead. They lost. They came back. That was a rough experience right there. It starts off the next year up and down, a lot of trials and tribulations. This year had a little more success, but I think we're still waiting for that wow factor of Coach Freeman of putting Notre Dame legit back as like an 11-1 team and dominating people. Where's his true state on the program? I think this is a chance right here with all the opt-outs and moving around. Can you come down here and get a back-to-back bowl? Can you come down here and get back-to-back bowl wins and then maybe move forward next year with the playoff being 12 teams and really make your run to go get it done? But you've got to get this game. You've got to beat this depleted Oregon State team to really put yourself back on the map that Notre Dame is truly to be feared, because I think we're at the point right now where it's just Notre Dame. I mean, I'm sorry, but it just feels like it's just Notre Dame. They show up. They play great defensively versus Ohio State. It was an amazing game, but they left a lot on the field that we kind of like that was a wasted opportunity. There's games they look great, and then you lose to a Clemson, a 4-4 Clemson team. We're still waiting for that factor. And when will it come through? Who's going to take charge of that football team and be the leader in that locker room that's young. That's not a one transfer in like Hartman. It just kind of felt like after the first couple of games of the year, he definitely faded quickly. Like the shine on that transfer and that offense was gone. They looked great over in Ireland, beating up on Navy. They looked great about beating up on whoever, but when the games actually mattered, it was not him. It was Estime who was really getting it done for Notre Dame. And he's not playing. Where's this Irish football team going to really grasp and hold and play in Freeman's image? Is this game going to be the first one, or is this going to be another practice game that nothing really happens? We don't really get a feel of who they are going forward. That's why I'm watching Notre Dame. On the other side of Oregon State, it's been a fiasco. It's now the Pac-2. Now that the championship game is officially done, you move forward here. You're in that deal with the Mountain West. It's a very unknown, uneasy spot for not just Oregon State football, but all athletics. And you've had a special season. It broke my heart to see Jonathan Smith leave, being an alum, being a quarterback there, tried the program, tried and true. But the decisions outside of his own control of this entire conference collapsing forces him to leave. If this was still a Pac-12 with legit teams and the entire conference stayed together, he does not leave Oregon State after this year. But he knows this program was kind of out in the middle of nowhere and floundering, and he had to strike when the iron's hot. Oregon State fans, please do not take it out on him for leaving. It's unfortunately it's a product of the business. The transfer portal, DJU leaving, other guys leaving. It's a product of the business we're in because Oregon State and Washington State were left out of what the Pac-12 should be. And it really sucks to see that happen. I hope Damian Martinez plays in this ball game. Give him a chance to really shine in the bowl game and really show off his skills because the dude has some amazing ability and is definitely built for playing on Sundays. Oregon State, for the players that are playing, who's the voice in the locker room? Where do you guys rally? You're down to your third string quarterback. Where's the playmakers going to come from? Who wants to show up and play for the Beavers? You have a chance of beating Notre Dame. That doesn't come along very often. Have a chance to beat Notre Dame is a big deal. I think even still for a lot of people, you beat the name Notre Dame in a big bowl game. That still rings true a little bit. Go out there, stand on your business and get it done. Be tough, be physical. Take it to Notre Dame. And you know what? Even a depleted team, I'm going to say that Oregon State makes this a ball game. This will be a one-score football game. I think Notre Dame maybe has just a little bit too much and they find a way to squeak it out. But this will be a battle all the way through. These Oregon State players are tough. They're the embodiment entire of the program. They're going to hit you for the entire 60 minutes. They're going to make you earn every yard. But Notre Dame, I think, depth-wise, has just enough left in the tank to find a way to get a one-score win and survive in El Paso. But it'll be a heck of a Tony the Tiger Bowl.
Yeah. Fresh, I'm hoping this game is better because this game has an opportunity to be a letdown game as well. It could be. I don't think there's a middle ground in this. I'm like, oh yeah, there's a fun bowl game to watch. It's okay. Great. I think it's either going to be two teams who are just a bunch of reserve guys, just we're going to go across and beat the living heck out of each other, or it's just going to be we can notice that it is all the backups playing in this football game. Fresh, I've been going through this and through this whole episode. I'm quoting you songs, so I'm definitely not going to stop here tonight. Especially with Notre Dame, I went around and I said, what's the comparison thing for here? And I said, Notre Dame is one of the great Irish bands of all time, in my opinion, is the band Flogging Molly, and they had this song that I loved. Called What's Left on the Flag. And you take a look at it, it says, his eyes were closed when his last breath spoke. He had seen all to be seen. A life once full, now an empty vase, with the blossoms on his early grave. And I'm reading this, and I was listening to the song earlier before we came on the air, and I was like, that to me speaks complete volumes of the Pac-12 and Oregon State. They've seen everything. They went toe-to-toe. They beat Utah in Corvallis this year. They went toe-to-toe with a lot of really good football teams. They had talent out the in-game. Jonathan Smith was a phenomenal coach for Oregon State. Notre Dame, they came in all hyped on the year. They had they started off the season red hot. And that Ohio State game was back and forth. And, depending on who you want to say, they probably should have won that football game. They dropped an interception to allow Ohio State the opportunity. So I think we're just left with whatever's left on the flag. Like, we're raising up the flagpole and we're going to put it up there, and it's going to be Oregon State. It's going to be Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's going to have better depth. If Martinez and Fenwick both play in this football game, I think it's going to make the game very interesting for them. The law firm of Martinez and Fenwick, you take a look at them, almost 1,700 yards between the two of them, 14 rushing touchdowns. Notre Dame, I would like to see a little bit of Jeremiah Love. Let's see what he's got. Freshman, you take a look. He played a little bit sparingly down the stretch there. He's kind of been the spellback for SMA. What is he able to do? But are they going to be able to run the football with whatever's left of that offensive line for Notre Dame there? I'm going to guess Notre Dame's depth is a little bit better than Oregon State's depth. I'm going to take Notre Dame in this football game. If this game gets sloppy, the over will come in at that 42 mark. But again, give me Notre Dame in this one.
I think it'll be a fun one. The Sun Bowl always delivers out there in El Paso, so I got a feeling that'd be worth turning into and on CBS.
Yeah. I was thinking about quoting a song about El Paso, but I decided against that.